Hey guys, it's Merlini with another episode of Mad Rares with Merlini. Unfortunately, a lot of people have been having issues with the Dota 2 lounge bots because of the recent patch. Nobody is able to trade Dota 2 items, but if you are one of the fortunate few who are still able to trade, here is my breakdown for the November 16th playday. Some matches are on November 15th. First one that we have is FOU versus DK in the Nexon Invitational Super Match. Very similar to Alliance and FOU yesterday, except the odds are slightly worse. It's a little worse than 10-1, and at this rate, I'm just not betting. It's not worth 0.3 rares in my book. It's pretty safe, but yesterday was a 0.5 for Alliance, and I think Alliance is better than DK, so yesterday's bet was a lot better than today's. I won't be betting on that one. Next one that we have is Empire. So D2L odds are around 80-20, and my odds are actually 75-25. I don't think it's worth betting on Empire in this. People think it's a fairly safe bet because it's a best of 3, and Empire have 2-0 PR a couple of times before, and Empire rarely drops games, let alone matches, to teams that tier lower. However, Empire had a recent roster reshuffle. I haven't seen them play since then, and I like to see them play before I bet on a 4-1 favorite. I actually don't know too much about PR either, so I'm going to either shy away from this one or bet small on PR. Definitely not betting on Empire at the 4-1 odds. Next two are WPC Ace League matches. These are best of 2s, right? Rattlesnake versus Hearts. Rattlesnake 75-25. This is probably the highest odds we've seen for Hearts, but I'm actually not going to bet on Rattlesnake. If anything, I'm going to bet small on Hearts because Rattlesnake actually won 1 Hearts a month ago, and RS is 2-2-10 in the league. Hearts is actually 2-2-11 in the WPC Ace League. And I mean, obviously standings are standings. It doesn't really accurately gauge a team's performance. Rattlesnake is definitely a stronger team, but I don't think Hearts is going to win 2 in a row, but I also think Rattlesnake is just too inconsistent to win 2-0 75% of the time. I don't really feel like giving my rares on this one. Been rather risk averse for today, so I'm either betting small on Hearts, like 1 or 2 maybe, or not at all. Next one that we have is a much better bet. LGD China versus IG. IG was actually trying to beat the Dire Tide record, which I think they actually did with the Pudge, and they did that like all day yesterday. And LGD China, even without that, I would probably still bet on LGD China. Last time the odds were 50-50, and LGD China just like demolished IG. IG looked pretty good the other day, but LGD is still a more consistent team. I should be able to count on them taking at least one of these games. I think IG has a pretty good shot of taking it 2-0, but I think it's still less than 40%. So I'm going to be betting on LGD on this. It's pretty good return for an LGD match, 2.3 for 4. And then the next one that we have is Navi versus VP. It's best of 3 again. Yesterday's or the other days was what, 70-30 in the D2L. Now that it's jumped to 80-20 because Navi dominated them, I don't think it's worth betting on Navi. Navi are still inconsistent, and too inconsistent for me to bet on them as a 4-1 favorite against VP. If anything, I'm going to be betting small on VP here, but definitely not betting on Navi. I think the odds are closer to 75-25. If Navi just looks weak, which they have very, very often, they can easily drop this 2-1 or 2-0. And they also, like, VP probably has a couple more tricks up their sleeve. People have been banning out Darkseer, and people have been reading their playstyle very well. If they shift their playstyle, I think they can maybe take a game or 2. So not comfortable in betting on Navi. We'll be betting small on VP if anything. Myth versus Imp, I have no idea about these odds at all. I've done a little bit of research, but I don't know any of these teams personally. I haven't watched them play. I will be asking Gods though, and if he gives me a response, I will post them on the Dota 2 Lounge Bets thread, but I won't be betting on this one until I hear from Gods, or I read other people's analysis and they seem like they know what they're doing. SSD versus Mouse. This is a best of 3. SSD has beaten Mouse 1-0 twice before now. I think the odds should be closer to 50-50. Mouse is like weak, but they're not like super weak. They're definitely in a slump though. And SSD is my bet here because I think the odds should be 50-50, and I think I'm getting a little bit of edge. Fnatic EU versus Liquid, pretty much the same bet as yesterday, although it's actually lower bets for Liquid, so I'm definitely betting on Liquid. If it's 60, I put the odds at 65-35, which is right in the middle of yesterday and today. So yesterday I would have bet on Fnatic EU at these odds. Today I'm going to be betting on Liquid at these odds, and yeah, not too much analysis on that. I talked about that yesterday. Speed versus EG. I think this is a really good bet for Speed right here. I think the odds should be about 65-35, so that's a very big discrepancy. EG have been strong, but Speed 2-0'd them in the G League qualifiers, and Speed has just been looking really strongly. EG is like still strong, but this was when they had fear on the carry. It was when Speed 2-0'd them, and that was when EG was like revitalized, so it wasn't like the JO carry EG that Speed 2-0'd, and I'm pretty confident in Speed in this. I'm definitely 2-1 confident on them, so I'll be betting on them. I think that EG has been underrated the past few days, and then now that people are catching on, oh wow, they beat Fnatic EU, which I predicted yesterday, and they beat Na'Vi and they beat VP in this heads-up matchup. I think now people are overrating them just slightly, and I'll be betting on Speed. And last but not least, we have Liquid versus Mouse. It's a pretty safe bet for Liquid here. Liquid have just been absolutely on fire lately, but at 4-1 odds, it's not really that great. If nothing happens, like if Liquid and Mouse perform as expected, then I'll just be betting on Liquid. I think it's a decent chance at 0.8 rares. And if Mouse overperforms, if they just like crush SSD, or Liquid like loses to Fnatic, I may just bet small on Mouse here. I'll probably drop to like 75-25 in that case, which would make it even better for Liquid, but I'll still be waiting out. But as it stands right now, if everything is the same, ceteris paribus, I will just be betting on Liquid. So keep up to date, posted on the Reddit Dota 2 Lounge Bets thread. That's a pretty cursory analysis today. I have other stuff to do, so unfortunately I couldn't make this video a little bit longer or do much more research, but I did enough research to feel confident in most of my bets for today. I will be abstaining on a lot of them. I don't think any, like this one, they're just, and Na'Vi versus VP, they're just not good bets for today. Not good return for the risk. So thanks guys for watching. As usual, if you like my videos, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/MerliniZota. You can also follow me on Twitter and Facebook for updates. Thanks guys, I'll see you on tomorrow's episode.